Hello there again, it's me, D Square, of course, here on the House of D channel, continuing on with the Hoxpox comic review, this time with the conclusion of the House of X series, House of X number 6, the finale to that series, dropped today. And this has really been a interesting, almost on the difficult side, reviewing this. I certainly don't just read the comics once and then review it. I certainly give it multiple read throughs, make sure I've completely digested it before I come and talk to you about it and give you my rating. And that is certainly the case with the House of X number 6 here. But I also elected to read all of the other House of X books and then read this one yet again, just so I could understand the full picture, the full story that they're trying to tell in the House of X comics. It's definitely world building, and I've said that since day one. So I wanted to make sure that I'm not discounting the fact that there really wasn't a conclusion to this story. This really was a launch pad for the whole Dawn of X book series. So this whole House of X series really has just set up the world that the X-Men are now in. And so in that respect, this certainly was a fitting conclusion. Of course, the artwork is great. I certainly have no complaints there. The story itself, there was a lot of good dialogue. We get to see the actual moment where Xavier sends out his message and his offer to the humans of Earth. So we actually get to see that. We've heard a lot about it, but on this issue we do get to see it. And then we also get to see more details about, the government that is being formed. In the last issue, Emma, Magneto, and Xavier talked about how this initial government was going to be formed. We saw the 4 branches, and then of course the 5th one, which involved Cypher and Krakoa, and we did get a few people on there. Well, we do see basically the full roster of the council, all except for one member who has yet to be named, but is referred to as Red King. So, obviously that means that she's going to be involved with the White Queen, Emma Frost, and the Black King, who is of course Sebastian Shaw. So we don't know who that is yet. And then, after that, we get like if you've ever defeated a video game, particularly an RPG, and then you get like that half-hour celebration scene, or like, the ending of the Return of the Jedi in the original version, how they're all just, having a party in the Ewok village, and then later in the remastered versions, we see this celebration all over the galaxy. Well, we get a very similar scene at the end of this issue. There's fireworks, there's drinks, there's people hanging out, people that were previously deceased. We are now, of course, see they're alive, and we know how that came about. And we even get to see a weird little something something between, like Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Scott, whole little. So, I don't know, those sinister secrets kind of clued us in on there, and we get to kind of see the origins of that. So, it really was a fitting ending. I just, my taste, I guess, would, the end of a conflict, some great conflict that comes to a crescendo, and we see the ending. And in truth, we saw that. It was just in, the previous issues. We've seen the X-Men, defeat the humans basically by destroying their mother mold, and then they even defeated death, which is, always kind of in the X-Men's thing, but now we at least we have a clear-cut reason on how they can do it without them trying to have to come up with some kooky story every time. So we definitely get to see some good stuff. I have some lingering questions. There's still some mutants that I haven't saw. One is particularly my favorite. We've only saw his hand, but I'm trying not to be too biased there because, let's face it, there are certainly great storylines that aren't always going to have your favorite character. So overall, with just, the lack of action, some questions I have, this may be controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10. Which, hey, a 9 out of 10 is great. And this is a great comic. This is a great conclusion to the House of X storyline. There's just a few small flaws here when it comes to the writing. And then just kind of, there's no action. It's just, it doesn't have that oomph. But it is still a great comic. So make sure you go out and get the conclusion of the House of X series. House of X number 6 has been released today, and you definitely need to go get this one to see how this series wraps up and to have a good image of how the X-Men universe is going to move forward. So, we'll definitely be talking spoilers about this on this channel. Until then, though, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Please share on your social media. Spread the word about the House of D channel. I could really use your help there. Thank you so much, though, for taking time and spending it with me. Peace and love, everyone, and we'll see you again real soon.